Hello and welcome to Ryno's Ravens Review. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, another loss for the Baltimore Ravens. Holy shit. They just can't get right, can they? Just can't get right. This time it was the defense that played well. Played well enough to absolutely keep the Baltimore Ravens in the game against the Los Angeles Rams. It was the offense that really let everybody down. Inability, that's what I have here on my notes, inability of the offense to get short yardage when they really need it and to hang on to the football. Yeah, 3 turnovers by the offense. Also, a few turnovers on down, so you can almost count them as well, since turnovers right there in the word, or in the phrase. Whew. You can see them on BaltimoreRavens.com. Let's get to this game center page, talk about a few of the stats and the numbers and such. Los Angeles Rams 17, Baltimore Ravens 3. Says, yeah, it's a really bad stretch. Several home games and the team just ain't showing up. Not good. Not good at all. You can see here Cooper Rush and Tyler Huntley played in this game. And oddly enough, I feel Tyler Huntley had a better game passing. Excuse me, somewhat surprising that Cooper Rush was brought in here to be the better backup quarterback because he can run the passing offense much better. Okay. All right. Whatever, man. The problem with that is what kind of offense do you have? If you had a more stationary quarterback type of offense where the quarterback does run every once in a while, then yeah, I think Cooper Rush would have been good, but that's not the kind of offense you have. And that's not the kind of players you put around your quarterback. You would need a quarterback that's closer to what Lamar is. But whatever. As you can see, Cooper Rush 11 of 19, which is not a good percentage in my opinion. 72 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Tyler Huntley 10 of 15, which still isn't that great, but it's a better percentage than Cooper Rush. 68, yeah, a few less passing yards, but the thing is, Cooper Rush it's not a threat to run. Tyler Huntley and Lamar Jackson are. So can open up a few more passing lanes. Not a whole bunch of passing lanes, but a few more passing lanes are going to open up. Apparently, people didn't realize that, but we'll see moving forward whether Cooper Rush will get more time or Tyler Huntley. What did I say here? Oh, another thing I want to talk about is Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson. And honestly, Justice Hill had a play just like it, where they seem to want to do a lot of jitterbugging around to get an extra yard or two. While you respect their fight and their drive to get a few extra yards. You do. But at the same time, it's like nobody has taught them what a tactical retreat is. There are instances in a football game where, yeah, you really do want to fight for the extra yard or two because otherwise you'll have to punt or you'll give the ball back or what have you. But there are a lot more times where just go down, protect yourself and protect the football, reconsolidate with your teammates, and attack again. That's what a tactical retreat is. Yes, you try it in advance, and it stalls for whatever reason. You pull back, you reconsolidate, come up with a slightly different attack strategy, and you attack again. A tactical retreat is not a complete withdrawal. You are not giving up. You are living to fight another day. Reconsolidating with your teammates. But apparently, they don't understand it, and they like to jitterbug around. And then they end up putting the ball on the ground a few times. Yeah. So, Somebody's got to explain that to him. And you can say the same thing with Lamar and his not sliding. Sliding isn't giving up. It's protecting yourself and the football to live to fight another day. Reconsolidate with your teammates. Another play. Run another play with the ball. It just boggles the mind how they just don't seem to understand that. Desperate, I guess. I don't know. However. But as you can see here, assuming you're one of the people that actually looks at the screen when you're listening to things like this, Derrick Henry, 24 rushing attempts for 122 yards. Those are good numbers. Now, I don't know that I really want him carrying the ball more than 20 times a game this early in the season, because we do kind of want him to have something left for the playoffs. And to a certain extent, if the playoffs are no longer reachable, then what the hell's the point? Right? Tyler Huntley, this is why he is a threat to run. 3 attempts for 39 yards. Yeah, and he got sacked a few times too. So, yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't pass block for him. You don't pick up blitzes at all. You got free rushers in there on him. What do you want him to do? He doesn't have that much escapability. He does have some mobility and can get outside the pocket and pick you up a few yards, but you still got a pass block for him. Not a great day receiving. There were high winds, so maybe that had added a little bit of a factor into why Cooper Rush was relatively ineffective. He was. He even missed a few throws. There was a throw, was it a corner route to Zay Flowers, and I swear it was at least 15 yards off target. I don't know where the hell he was throwing his ball, but it never would have came down inbounds. It came down out of bounds. There was no chance for it to come down inbounds. And I say that because if you're a wide receiver and you catch the ball out of bounds, it's an incomplete pass. You have to complete the pass to a receiver who's standing inside the field of play. Okay. Don't know what the hell is going on with these idiots. Seems terrible. All right, let's talk a little bit about the defense. As I did mention that I feel that they played better. Now, they're still missing Roquan Smith, who hopefully will be back after the bye week. And Broderick Washington, maybe Nnamdi Madubuike not coming back. So that hurts. It does hurt. Now, they didn't really put that much pressure on the quarterback, though there weren't that many pass plays. I mean, and if you notice what Goff over here was doing, but he only had 26 pass attempts. That's not that much. In today's NFL, those are pretty low numbers. Especially when you look over and you see the Ravens do, what is that, 34? 34 total. So, yeah. Didn't have that many opportunities to put pressure on a quarterback or sack him. They did. And they were able to get home a few times. One, most notably, closer towards the end of the game by Buchanan and Simpson. Simpson was the first man in. And in some unselfish in an unselfish fashion, and in my opinion, showing growth and improvement, he saw, what was I calling the Rams quarterback? It's Stafford. Matt Stafford. I don't know what I was calling him before. He saw Stafford about to throw, and he jumped up and got in his way. He was about 3 feet away from the quarterback, but he pulled up and jumped and got into the passing lane. So, Stafford pulls down the pass. But Buchanan was right there behind Simpson, and he was able to bring Stafford down. Again, progression by Trent Simpson. I'm not saying that he's super good or anything. I think there are several things that he could improve on. But, again, progression, getting better. Oh, let's talk about the new guy. Does he have any numbers here, Gilman? He's not listed here with any. Oh, there he is. A few tackles. Gilman, I think, seemed to fit in real nicely. Now, he did play a more of a deeper safety kind of role. Him and Malachi Starks took up those positions, which allowed Kyle Hamilton to come back towards the line. It's where we saw him several years ago make a lot of nice plays. More in that nickel jack position, nickel cornerback, but I like to say nickel jack is more of a jack of all trades. He can blitz more, play more around the line of scrimmage, which defensive backs don't usually do. Helps you disguise coverages and blitzes and whatnot. And then Humphrey, instead of playing that, what he had been doing this year and let's say the last half of last year, playing the nickel jack position, they moved him to the outside. So Wiggins and Humphrey on the outside. Now, will that continue? Don't know. Awuzie was not able to go this game. So if he's able to go, do you put him more on the outside, and then what do you do, right? Maybe it's because you got too many defensive backs and not enough positions for all of them. Because you need some of the big uglies out there to put pressure on the quarterback, which you're still not doing that well. You're still not. Though Big John Jenkins, defensive tackle they brought in the offseason, stepped up. And after Cooper Rush's first interception, straight bull rush, just pushing his offensive lineman counterpart back into Stafford's face. And able to force a fumble. Or really ripping it out of the dude's hand, more likely. But he got a few yards in the run back. Did it mention how many yards he got? I feel like he got a few. They're not giving him credit with any yards, it doesn't look like. Which is disappointing. I feel like he did get a few yards. Does this scroll over at all? No, it does not. Yeah, it doesn't say how many yards. No, you're not giving him credit for any yards after the fumble. Oh, well. But it's a time where a defense stepped up and you needed your defense to step up because your offense screwed the pooch and turned the ball over. Okay, so you got to stop blaming the defense here. Defense isn't the problem. Do they have their own issues? Yeah. But the defense isn't the reason they're losing games. It's not. It's the offense. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. If you're saying it's the defense's fault that the Ravens are losing this much, you're wrong. It's the offense and their failures. And one of the fundamental failures of the offense, hold on to the football, not doing it. Yeah, that's... What do you expect your defense to be able to do when the offense turns the ball over that much? Yeah. But talking about the defense, and I'll talk bad about them because they screwed shit up. Let's go to this recap section. I'm going to look at one of these drives. It was in the third quarter. Here on this touchdown drives by the Rams. It was this play here. It was a 4th and 2 play. Ended up being a pass interference penalty on Trent Simpson. Of course, he's 30 yards down the field with a running back. That's kind of not the spot you really want Trent Simpson in. I'm sorry. And why was the running back able to get through 30 yards down the field? Because you only sent 2. You sent 2 and dropped 9 on a 4th and 2? The hell kind of stupid ass decision is that? And what I got here is either or sucks ass at calling defensive plays, or I don't know, wasn't trying to be offensive to the people out here, but I kind of want to be. They're too stupid to understand his play calling, or they just don't understand his playbook. Because it was weird to see 9 guys drop into zone coverage. But Buchanan and Green were in the same spot. Leads me to think that it wasn't supposed to be a 9-man drop. Of course, you only had 2 big uglies on 2 defensive linemen on the field. And then you had your 4 linebackers. You had Buchanan, Simpson, Van Noy, and Mike Green. Why would you have Van Noy and Mike Green dropping into coverage? Excuse me. It doesn't make sense. And one reason it doesn't make sense, what if they were running the ball? What if the Rams had called a run play? And you got your 2 edge men backing off the line of scrimmage. What this hell stupid play call is that? It's a stupid play call. That's what it is. Not only did, obviously, in my opinion, maybe it's not that obvious, but considering that Green and Buchanan were occupying the same fucking space, one of them fucked it up. And I'm going to say it was Mike Green that fucked it up because you got an option here of putting Buchanan in a zone at that one spot or putting Green at the zone at that one spot or blitzing them. Well, I'm gonna send Mike Green and then Buchanan's going to play zone coverage. I'm not going to flip that. Why? You don't need to get that cute with it. You really don't. You really don't. Especially on a 4th and 2. You needed more pressure on Stafford. I guess you figure, hey, we're not getting home because we suck ass at rushing the passer, so we might as well not even try. Okay, well then why have 4 linebackers and 2 defensive linemen on the field? You might as well have 2 linebackers, 2 defensive linemen, and the rest defensive backs. Because that's the way your fucking team is set up. Why don't you do that? Why are you having all these dumbass linebackers in the zone coverage there? That's stupid. Stupid play call. So that didn't help. Because you had an opportunity to, well, it's on the 33-yard line, and with the high winds, dude man kicker from the Rams, he missed a field goal early from closer than 33 yards. So, yeah, well, I mean, it's 4th and 2. 4th and 2, you get to stop, and you get the ball back. You got to send more than 2. Or at least not drop 4 damn linebackers in coverage. That's just dumb. Dumb. Hell, if you replace Simpson with, who wouldn't have been on the field? TJ Tampa or I mean, I guess you would have had they would have had 3 safeties on the field plus their 2 cornerbacks. So the next cornerback would be, I don't know if Jair Alexander is going to ever play for this team or what. He played last week. He didn't play this week. I mean, I didn't see him out there. TJ Tampa, I didn't see him out there either. Maybe that's part of it. You got all these defensive backs, and apparently they either can't physically can't play because they're injured, or can't learn the system, or won't play because they suck. Yeah. Whatever. What the hell ever. But yeah, that's really the only spot where I say the defense screwed it up. Though at the same time, it was only one. Because how many times did the offense screw up? Here's the interception. Happened in the first quarter. Not good, but whatever. Talk about that interception. I honestly put that Cooper Rush's interception, I put that on Zay Flowers as much as I do Cooper Rush. Now, it was a group effort. It really was. It's part of it is Flowers is running his dig route, which is, or an in cut, or however you like to say it. You go up 10 to 15 yards and then you go in. and you're supposed to go 90-degree angle, parallel with the line of scrimmage. Now, you can get friendly on that cut, is where it is you angle the route instead of going parallel with the line of scrimmage. You come back towards the quarterback a little bit. Flowers was going upfield a little bit more, which made room for who picked this ball off, Mr. Lake, to undercut the route, because Flowers gave him room. If Flowers runs this parallel with the line of scrimmage or gets friendly with the route, that's not an interception. But it was, because Lay Flowers was like, I'm going to go upfield. Dude, just catch the ball, you got the first down. Again, live to fight another day. We all know you like yak yards. We all know that. But ball security is really important. It's really important. Good job getting Derrick Henry going. I mentioned that already. Really nice running yards here for Henry. Averaging 5 a rush. He didn't break a real long one. The longest one was 12 yards, which isn't that long for Derrick Henry. But considering where he was going before, that's fine. Averaging 5 yards a run. That's good. That's good. You see why they ran him 24 times. Because there was room to run. And even on a day where the winds are a high gut, or I don't remember what the miles per hour, how fast they said the winds are, but they were affecting some passes. So from a defensive play caller, you're thinking, oh, well, they want to get Henry going. The wind isn't really going to allow that many passes. Going to have a primary rush defense on there. So still able to find some lanes. Okay. What was y'all doing different? Something I noticed they were doing different a little bit. I felt that they were running a little more outside with Derrick Henry, and also more run plays with 2 or more wide receivers on the field. Now, what's that going to have an effect? How many wide receivers on the field? Well, if you put 1 wide receiver on the field, how many defensive backs is the defense going to have on the field? Are they going to stick with 4 or 5? Why? They're going to put some more big fat guys in there. Yep. That's how you dominate the trench. Duh. Why would you run the ball that many times with 1 wide receiver on the field? Why? They're going to put more of their linebackers and big fat guys in there, the real run stoppers. Your cornerback's on a run stopper. Your free safety ain't a run stopper. Look, some strong safeties are really good at playing the run. But it is more of a support role. It's not a straight point of attack, run stuffer kind of guy. It's a support role. Even Cam Chancellor back in his day, yeah, he was real good at being a strong safety and playing in the box. But it's a support role and not run stuff and roll. You had other guys that did their jobs well and allowed Cam Chancellor to play well. But if the offense is going to put 1 wide receiver on the field, you're going to put more of those defensive linemen in there. Linebackers, yeah. Whether you got Cam Chancellor on your team or not. Because you don't need 2 cornerbacks and a free safety to cover 1 wide receiver. You just don't. But for whatever reason, Todd Monken wants to do it. Like that dumbass play it's some goofy ass run and he got Tylan Wallace on the outside. Yeah, there was none of that this time. There was none of that. Hopkins, Bateman, Flowers. Those were the wide receivers that were on the field. What does that tell you? Yeah. Also, the outside runs of what it gets Derrick Henry away from those big fat guys. Those big fat guys are really the only ones that have, and some linebackers, yes. And it's not that they're all fat. I'm just size between teeny tiny corners and the guys on the interior defensive line. These outside runs gets Henry away from the bigger guys. The more outside you go, the smaller the defenders are. Derrick Henry's a big dude. Okay? Really hard for cornerbacks to bring him down. Can safeties bring him down? Sure. Some of them can. Not all of them can. So you get him on the outside where you got a favorable matchup. Wondering why you weren't doing that before. Okay. Oh, I'm really starting to hate Todd Monken's play calling. I don't know what the hell this idiot's doing. Because what was that shit in the second quarter with that damn tush-push bullshit? What in the hell was that? Oh, what was here? Right, you see this 10-yard run. You're starting at the Rams 14. You get the first down, and then from the Rams 4, Derrick Henry, a 3-yard run on first down. Okay, all right. So you got 1 more yard to go. 2 straight tush pushes with Mark Andrews. Okay, fine. It is a very useful play. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that it's not. I'm not going to say that a lot of teams in the NFL have been able to use that play. You have to look at the first run of this Mark Andrews tush push thing, at least in this instance here, and know that the Rams had that shit stacked up. Okay? They have been practicing how to stop a tush push. They've been practicing. There's point of attack there. Lots and lots of big ass bodies. Lots of them. So, okay, maybe I'm okay with you running that on second down. It's fine. If you don't change personnel, they're not going to change personnel. So guess what? They got the same big uglies out there. You really think you're going to be able to do it again? How about this? Just a thought. Maybe it could work, maybe it couldn't. Instead of when Mark Andrews gets the snap and jumping forward, like the tush push, how about he turns around and pitches it to Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry runs to the outside? To me, that is a much better play call. Because if you watch the first run of this Mark Andrews tush push at the goal line here, you can see the Rams were looking for it. Okay? You weren't surprising nobody. The Rams were looking for it, and they had been practicing their defense of it. And again, if they don't change personnel, and you line it up as a tush push, wouldn't the smart thing to do, since you obviously do not run it as well as the Philadelphia Eagles, wouldn't the smart thing to do would be, let's toss it to Derrick Henry and he can get outside with it. Excuse me. Let's get some misdirection in there. Because the defense will think, it's going to go right here in the middle here with Andrews. Let's stack everybody up. Oh, wait. Hey, and then everybody dives in there. 9, 10, almost 20 dudes diving in on this pile. But then there's Derrick Henry with the ball, and he's running that way. Oh, what do we do? Oh, somebody run with him. And even if somebody does, they still got to get it. Right? They don't know that you're running this play. That's why you have the advantage. Why would you not try it? Instead of a second straight tush push. You think that was the better option there? Okay. However, and then the fourth down play. Now, Tom Brady was on the call here, and he mentions that he doesn't like pulling guards on the goal line. I feel like he's saying that because then the interior can get maybe a little bit better push. But it really wasn't the interior that stopped this. It was Voorhees kicking out to the left, trying to block Mr. Verse, Jay Verse from the Rams. I'm not sure exactly who he is, but he looks like a really good player, really good edge man. And Voorhees can't do it. Like, he can't stop this guy. So then here comes Mitchell Payton, because you're running this with a fullback too. Here comes Mitchell Payton to help. So now you got two guys on one defender. Though it's Voorhees, who's probably, at least in a run blocking, from a run blocking standpoint, Voorhees is your worst offensive lineman. And from a fullback spot, Mitchell Payton, it's Payton, I think, is more of a tight end. So, not a good fullback. That's what you call it. And of course, Mr. Verse blew it up. He blew up both those dudes. He took on an offensive guard and a tight end / fullback, and then brought down Derrick Henry. First of all, why are you running to that man's side? Like, apparently, you know less about him than I do. And it's your job to know. So why run to his side? That doesn't make any sense. Especially when you got Falele's giant ass on the right side. Why you have Falele's giant ass on the right side? One, because that's the run side. And he's a big giant ass run blocker. How about you run behind him? No. You run behind your worst run blocker and then against the Rams' best edge man. Okay. Yeah. That's a great idea. That sounds like a great idea. Great idea. It's a dumbass idea. Just like your dumbass jet sweeps with Zay Flowers. I hate those plays. I really don't like them. And I don't know if it's because I feel like whenever the Ravens run them, they know they don't work. How many times have the Ravens run some kind of end around or reverse or jet sweep and it's actually worked? And I'm not talking about 3-yard gain. 3-yard gain, that's nothing. Talking about like a 5 or more yard gain. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Or if it's a 4th down play, picking up the 1st down. Why do y'all love these plays so much? I don't like them. I guess I just never have liked them. What the hell play was it? It was here. It was this fumble. Because this is where the game really starts to turn. Okay, yeah, defense lets the Rams get a touchdown. Well, it was bound to happen. Because at this point, it was 3-3 coming out of the half. Okay? So sure, the defense gives up a touchdown. Again, after halftime, offense a little bit more prepared and whatnot. 10-3. That's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Fumbled by the offense. Ravens offense. And then they fumble again. I mean, of course, the Ravens defense was going to give up another touchdown. I mean, of course they were. Maybe you as the offense, get off your ass and fucking do something. You fucking idiots. Instead of dropping the damn ball. Who fumbled the ball this time? Man, recovered by Lake. It's Flowers. Flowers again. Him jitterbugging around. Getting the ball popped out. This one here was the reverse. I mean, not the reverse. The jet sweep. Now they call it... Well, they have it listed here as fumbles, in quotes, aborted. Jet sweep is a fast guy, like, say, a wide receiver, in this case, say, Flowers, comes in motion close to where, behind the line of scrimmage, but not, excuse me, not 5-6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, more behind the offensive lineman. So he can take the snap or he can take a handoff from the quarterback. And the idea is get a man that fast in motion, so when he gets his hand off, his speed is already built up. The problem I have with this play is Flowers was the only wide receiver on the field. So again, now, do you kind of want to do that for a jet sweep? Sure, I guess. The problem is it does make the defensive line of scrimmage bigger and stronger. So, where's the edge? Okay, you can get there with a fast guy. At the same time, they're definitely going to be playing a bit of a contain on the outside. So they're going to get outside leverage. So is your sweep going to work? Not if there are that many defenders up there on the line of scrimmage. No, not really. It can it? Sure. It can. But Cooper Rush and Zay Flowers apparently have never, ever practiced that because, of course, when they needed to do it, they fucked it up. And yeah, I guess they're giving Cooper Rush the fumble here because Zay Flowers never really got full possession of the football. It was, I want to say he was probably a little late getting the ball. Maybe just a little bit late. Maybe. I mean, the ball was in there, but I think Flowers was a little too far in his jet motion, I guess. Cooper Rush didn't get the ball quick enough, didn't snap the ball quick enough, or wasn't fast enough in his motions, or just too inexperienced doing a jet sweep play like that with Zay Flowers. And puts the ball on the ground. 13 personnel, that's what I call it, yeah. 13 personnel in this jet sweep. 13 personnel, 1 running back, 3 tight ends, and then Zay Flowers, the wide receiver. Yeah, I guess I just would rather there be more balance to that play. Now, I like the formation because I feel that with Lamar in there running it, you have, what? Now 3 threats of running. Lamar run, a Derrick Henry run, a Zay Flowers jet sweep kind of run. So what are you doing as a defense? What kind of personnel are you putting on the field? And at the same time, you got all your tight ends in there who are pretty decent run blockers. But at the same time, Mark Andrews can run routes and catch balls. Isaiah Likely can run routes and catch balls. Zay Flowers can run routes and catch balls. So they can get down the field. Charlie Kolar, I'm not saying Charlie Kolar, somebody running 15, 20 yards down the field, but he can run 5 yards down the field and catch a ball. So there's some passing threats out of that. And if you're not going to throw the ball out of that formation, what's the defense going to do? It's going to be play and run. They're going to set their edges. So is the jet sweep going to work? No. But however, man, you keep doing whatever you're doing. It's working. It's working real well, ain't it? No, it's not working. You got to do something different. It doesn't even have the record on here. Really? Hey, NFL.com, why are the team's records not on here? Well, it's here, I guess. You have to look at the standings. Wow, Baltimore Ravens have the same record as the Cleveland fucking Browns. That's pathetic. Pathetic. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-1. Alright, I'm done. At least for this video. Let's wrap this shit up and get the hell out of here. Ugh. Alright, so you got some time off from me. Almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks off because week 7 the bye week. Which, yeah, I think maybe initially you thought, ooh, is that going to be coming at the right time? Well, given the schedule that the Ravens had, it was definitely front-loaded with a lot more playoff teams. And with all these injuries, is there a chance that you could get Roquan Smith and Lamar Jackson back by week 8? And even Patrick Ricard, who started practicing the week before the Rams here. So that's real good news. The real upside there. Now, are you going to get hurt at the tail end of the season when you haven't had a week off in a while? Yeah, but lots of teams are going to be in that boat, right? So maybe whatever. This bye week coming up, it just seems like it's going to benefit the Ravens. Hopefully it will. So the next game the Ravens will actually play is October 26th. So yeah, the 25th, that's Saturday, is when I'll do my next video. So that's going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Ravens Review. Please stay tuned for my next episode of Ryno's Ravens Preview, Saturday, October 25th. And I will preview the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Chicago Bears. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm the Angry Ryno. Dive in, Ravens.